The Path of Titans Nintendo problem has gotten worse, but we also have news on more dinosaur TLCs like Barsboldia and if Deinocheirus could get a remodel in the future. So let's dive into this all and let's hope this is the last time we cover a negative thing about Nintendo and Path of Titans. We have more drama to cover for Path of Titans on Nintendo Switch. And this comes from the 20th of April, where the lead developer of the game was discussing this topic. And this comes with two very clear points. The recent update for the game will not be coming anytime soon onto Nintendo Switch, and the recent update for the game was already rejected by Nintendo. And unfortunately, it looks like Switch players won't be getting the game up to date until the next update, which could take a couple of months. The developers went on to say that they will be trying again in a few months when the next update is ready, and when asked which update it was, they mean the current one, the one with the alpha critters, the new dinosaur TLCs and all of that. So that means Switch players, you still won't be playing your favorite community servers and you'll be locked to Switch specific servers for the time being. So why was it rejected? Well, it comes down to one simple thing, and that is translation. Essentially, there was a setting in the game for a camera which was not translated into Japanese, and so the approval from Nintendo was rejected. And by words, we mean a few words, not like a massive amount of words. It wasn't like a whole paragraph was missing. It was like a handful of words here that got rejected for it. And it's not like they didn't try to fix this. The developers asked for a permission waiver to fix the translations in the next update. So this permission waiver would have allowed them to approve the update and then fix the translations in the next update. However, Nintendo rejected that as well, which made little sense as the developers said the translations will be changed in the next update regardless. So it's probably okay to have that error for a little bit, especially when it's something very small like a camera setting. But even then, the developers have had updates rejected in the past for other translation reasons, like dinosaur names not being translated, which technically can't even be translated, and so the likelihood of that happening again is already a bit too high. And the final comment that the developers left on this was, it's real easy to ask people to drop Switch when you haven't paid for the game on Switch and don't have a Switch. Just like it's really easy to spend someone else's money but hard to spend your own money. So of course, what's your thoughts on this Nintendo drama? It looks like it won't be ending anytime soon, and sadly, it looks like the latest update won't be coming onto Switch anytime soon. And however, I do want to say this won't be stopping the developers from developing the next update, as it looks like the devs will be packaging the last update into the next update for Switch, so it's like one massive update where they have two updates in one. Now imagine the amount of translations they have to make sure they get right for it. Now the developers did say they could try and do a very shoddy bad translation using AI, but they didn't want to go down that route because that would just lessen the user experience. Now that is something that was mentioned. I thought it was a good idea to mention that. But now that is literally it for Nintendo stuff. We need to talk about dinosaur TLCs because it was the hot topic after Deinocheirus released last week. Now, of course, one of the big things from the Deinocheirus TLC that people were talking about was the lack of a remodel. And I think the model's fine, but a big thing, I think, is the feathering, and that could be changed a little bit. That being said, the developers were asked a lot. There was a lot of comments about why Deinocheirus hasn't got a model rework, and this is what they said. It doesn't completely rule out Deinocheirus getting texture updates if we have any extra time in the future. I know it's a favourite for many players and I think it would be great to give it some small tweaks. But right now, there are some dinosaurs that really need an art pass and ability pass, and we'll be focusing on those first. So it basically goes down to this. It might get one in the future, and it's not ruled out. The devs do think it could get some small tweaks to the model, but it's not a priority, and they have outlined dinosaurs that they think need an art pass before Deinocheirus deserves an art pass. But what else is getting updates? Well, the devs openly said that alioramus will be getting updates in the future, and no, this is not the model. Do bear that in mind. They basically said alioramus definitely needs ability updates, which is very true. Look at the kit for that dinosaur. It definitely needs ability. It's got a very nice model already, and I love the model and the skins on it, but this dinosaur lacks abilities massively. And I'm glad they're not changing the model of the dinosaur because, of course, look at the baby. It's beautiful, and that should never be changed. So I'm very glad they're actually finally considering abilities, although it does leave me thinking, will Velocci ever get some ability updates in the future? I saw a comment on one of my videos about that earlier, and it definitely needs some love. Now, the final specific TLC I want to talk about is Barsboldia, because we do have some news regarding that. After the last comment video that I done, which I recommend you check out, we talked about a whole bunch of dev Q&A comments that are in the Discord server. Now, they didn't mention Barsboldia's TLC in those comments, but they have mentioned it now. Last week I did talk about the area of effect rework, which is very much needed for Barsboldia, but now let's talk about, of course, Bars. They basically said that we will really like the Barsboldia. It will be getting such a facelift on par with the improvements made to Tyrannosaurus, they would say. And that is a big thing, because to me, and a lot of other people, the Rex improvements were drastic. Like, it was one of the biggest model overhauls we have seen so far in the game, and Bars is ancient. Its model is older than Rex. It severely needs a TLC, and so this can't come sooner enough, and I cannot wait to see what it's going to be like in the game. And if they say it's on par with the Rex, they definitely have some confidence behind that, by the way, but we have to bear in mind some important things here. The Barsboldia's neck. Will it keep the jiggle physics on its neck? Well, according to the developers, it will be twice as jiggly. A monumental day for dinosaur jiggle physics enjoyers. Your lovely Bars will be getting more jiggle. I guess you can say you'll be getting jiggy with it. Now, the developers took some time to add to this, of course, and talk about some other dinosaur TLC updates and just it all in general. So let's talk about that and wrap things up there. Now, the developers talked about upcoming TLCs and how it will go in the future, and the main message was explained like this, and this mainly comes because of the Deinocheirus TLC not having a model. They said they are trying to pump out TLCs as fast as possible in order to get the game in a balanced state, and doing a full texture and visual rework takes a lot of time, so they have to choose carefully on what dinosaurs they think need a visual tweak in the moment. Not all dinosaurs will be getting a visual overhaul in a TLC. Some of them will just get ability overhauls. Some will get both. And for Deinocheirus, there was a decision made to focus on the dinosaurs that need it more, like that of Barsboldia. So it's important to note that not all dinosaurs will be getting a TLC for their model. They won't be getting a visual overhaul, some will just get ability overhauls. TLC could literally just mean an ability refresh and not a model change. We've seen that before. Last year's Latinovenatrix TLC was one of them, and I'm pretty sure the Pachycephalosaurus TLC was also one of them, and the earlier in this year's Cerato TLC didn't have a model change. Basically, they went on to say that updating things for the sake of updating them is not really a good use of time, money, and resources for everything. It can lead games abandoned in early access development hell. And of course, one TLC could be the same as 3 dinosaur TLCs combined in terms of resources. They have to essentially pick and choose carefully which model revamps and which don't get revamps. And what's your thoughts on this? And what dinosaur do you think really needs a model rework? I'd love to know your thoughts. We already know that Allo and Spino will be getting them, Bars too. What do you think would get a model TLC? Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this Nintendo drama. Hopefully it gets resolved soon. But yeah, if you want to see the actual context to that, I recommend you check out this video on the screen here. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.